Hello, we are going to present our capstone project. Why do many drugs resemble the structures of serotonin and dopamine? My name is Paris Lamb.
My name is Fayruza Farrow.
My name is Olivia Safoni.
And my name is Nara Pierre.
So, what is dopamine and serotonin? Dopamine and serotonin are both neurotransmitters, and what neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that carry signals between neurons and other cells. Both dopamine and serotonin interact with the brain's reward system, and they're known as the happy hormones among the neurotransmitters because they boost your mood. And on the right, we have an image of the chemical structures of serotonin and dopamine. And something to note is that each of these chemicals has a hydroxyl group attached to the carbon, which is going to be important for chemical bonding.
We wanted to focus on how the chemical bondings of drugs relates to chemistry. And upon our research, we found that when drugs enter the body, their charge dictates the drug receptor interactions. For example, receptors that can interact with drugs have specific three-dimensional shapes, like Vesper structures that we talked about within class, which require a specific chemical structure to bind to it. Changes within molecular shape dictate the specificity of receptors. Numerous drugs are made of acid and amine functional groups, which lead to ionic bonds being formed between drugs and receptors. These ionic bonds are driven by the opposite charges located at receptor sites. Hydrogen bonds that form between polar molecules are also caused by oppositely charged interactions, which occur between drugs and receptor sites.
Why do the structure of drugs promote addiction? Dopamine release plays a key role in addiction. Many drugs increase dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure, which reinforces the desire to use the drug again. Some drugs, like opioids, mimic natural chemicals like endorphins binding to the same receptors and creating a physical and psychological dependence. Chronic use can reduce the brain's ability to produce dopamine naturally, leading to tolerance and dependence. Drugs that are quickly absorbed, such as those smoked or injected, produce intense euphoria, further reinforcing this addiction. Additionally, many drugs offer emotional relief, helping to reduce stress and or pain, which then encourages continued use. To sum up, addictive drugs impact the brain's reward system in several ways, creating a cycle of constant addiction.
And then how similarities between the chemical structures of serotonin and dopamine with drugs aid medical advancements. Serotonin and dopamine are both neurotransmitters that play key roles in mood regulation and cognition. Drugs, particularly psychiatric medications, are designed to influence these systems. Understanding how drugs mimic or interact with serotonin and dopamine at the molecular level can help scientists through multiple things. Those being improving drug design, which helps drug design specifically target serotonin and dopamine receptors. Also, side effects. By mimicking neurotransmitters, drugs can be designed to only bond to specific receptors, minimizing side effects. Drug efficiency. With better binding to receptors, drug effectiveness will increase. Refining current drugs. Using our better understanding of chemical structures can help refine the drugs that we already have. With diagnostic tools, insights of drug interactions with serotonin and dopamine systems can help identify biomarkers for disease detection, which improves diagnostic and monitoring tools. And lastly, individual drugs. This facilitates the development of drugs that can be tailored to an individual's genetic makeup, which only helps with specifying what exactly an individual will need for them and not generalizing the drugs for everyone. As you can see here, I have a picture of serotonin and dopamine next to other drugs, and you can see the similarity between the structures. And then lastly, this is our works cited page, and that is our capstone.